Hello students, I'm so glad you've come to our video for making the crafts. Earlier today you should have watched a video about St. Elizabeth and Seton, and today's craft that we're going to do is a schoolhouse. Do you know why we chose a schoolhouse for St. Elizabeth and Seton? So let's get started. Day one, we are learning about Elizabeth Ann Seton. You should have already watched the video and learned all the wonderful things that she's done and the trials that she's had. Today, the craft that we're gonna do is gonna be a schoolhouse. Now, I think you probably have already figured out why we're going to do a schoolhouse. Today's craft, there's going to be two different ones depending upon your age. So if you're in elementary school, you're gonna do this craft here. And if you're in middle school, you're gonna do popsicle craft. So they're both schoolhouses. They're just a little bit different. One's a little more challenging for the older kids. And with every craft every day, you will receive a set of instructions similar to this. This is today's instructions for today's craft. So be sure to look in your craft bag. You will find your craft instructions for every day. It is English on one side and Spanish on the other, so you should be able to find all the information you need. So for today's craft, I'm going to start with actually working on the elementary one first, show you how to build this one, and then we'll start working on the middle school one. So I'm going to push this one aside, and we will come back to that here in just a minute. What you're going to need for this craft today is your kit. You'll find this in your bag. You'll know that it's for elementary because on the tag it'll actually say day one, the craft, the saint's name, the day of the week, and whether it's elementary or middle school. So be sure to check those out. Make sure you have the right one for your child. So in your craft bag, you will have all the supplies you need. In addition to the craft bag supplies, you will need a pair of scissors, preferably littler scissors, and some Elmer's glue. You can either use liquid glue or a glue stick works really good for this particular craft. And then something to write with, whether it be a marker or a crayon or a pen or pencil. All right, so we're just gonna pull out all of our supplies here. The majority of this craft has been pre-cut for the little ones. So once you pull out all of your supplies, you're gonna see all different shapes, sizes. Like I said, the majority of them have already been cut, but you'll find that there's some that's not cut, that you'll have to shape just a little bit. So you have the base of your schoolhouse here. So you'll use your rectangle, your large rectangle shape, placing it in this longer sides here and the shorter sides on top and bottom. This other longer rectangle will actually be for your steeple. So that will go back here like this. Now I am just dry fitting it right now because you're gonna have to adjust some of the roof structure. We do want your roof to be on an angle, not a flat roof. So I'm just gonna lay it out here real quick. If you lay it out and you get the angle of your roof that you're comfortable with and that you like, for both the main schoolhouse and also for the steeple. Now the steeple roof is currently just one straight piece, so you will need to cut it in half. Folding it to get it exact on both sides would be perfect instead of measuring. Once you get it cut in half, then again you want to go ahead and lay them on here to give your steeple, your roof look. And you can adjust the height of your steeple, kind of how high or low you'd like it to sit. This is really creativity for the children. So, all right, once you get it laid out with the angle of the roof that you want, you're then going to need to trim this part off. So you can take a paper, a pencil or a marker and just hold it down and trace each corner to mark where we're going to trim those pieces off. Once they're both marked, slide these pieces off and then take your scissors and just trim off those little corners. This craft can be used for little ones getting ready to go back to school. It can also be used with today's craft, talking about Elizabeth Ann Seton. All right, once I got my pieces cut off there, I'm just gonna use my glue stick and I'm gonna start attaching the steeple in kind of the height that I want. Again, this is up to them. Whatever they think would look good, you let them have fun. This is a great time to build some crafts together. All right. Oh, my steeple's really tall. All right, and then of course we're going to refit our rooftop. Rooftop for Schoolhouse itself. Now we're going to do the steeple rooftop. And again, just sticking a little glue on here. Glue sticks are wonderful. Very good. Oops. All right. Now I'm going to take my yellow piece, which is just in the shape of a rectangle. You can either draw out a bell. You'll notice on this Schoolhouse, there's a little bell here. You can either draw one out or you can just free cut it. Probably for the little ones, you'll probably want to cut it out or draw it for them and then let them cut it out. But whatever works best for y'all. Again, don't feel bad if you need to pause the video so that you can catch up. That is perfectly fine. I will be here waiting when you get done. All right, so I dry fitted it and I'm going to put it on. All right, now with the next one, I'm going to, you have a rectangle piece of paper. It's a white piece of paper. You want to cut it in half because you're going to use half. And you also want to take one of the black ones, black papers as well, the black rectangle, and you're going to cut that in half because they're going to match up. They're going to be both the windows. So now with this particular section, we are creating three different entries in, well, one entry, the door, and then of course 2 windows. So we're creating this, this idea of open windows, open doors, to show that, or to remind us that St. Elizabeth Ann Seton was very welcoming. She was very joyful, and she loved to educate and teach people for schools that she opened for the youth. And so these windows and these doors, we want to be able to have them where they can open to show that we are remembering her welcomeness and her invitation to continue to learn. So we want to take the white part and glue that down first. Of course, position it here on your paper, on your Schoolhouse, where you would like to put it. And you want to glue the whole white portion down on your paper. Window. And so now we want to actually put these little shutters over. Now, if we were to glue these directly on there, we wouldn't be able to open them. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little hinge. And what we do that is we just take our rectangle and we fold just a small piece over. And this part here on this side, the piece that you fold up, will actually be the piece that you put the glue on. So be sure just to glue that part and not the whole piece, because then otherwise your window will not open. And we want to be able to open it. So once you get your glue on that little piece, just go ahead and press it down, and you have your window that'll open and close. And you can do the same thing on the other side. Opposite of each other. You can put it in any direction you want. You notice this one that I made, or that I showed earlier today, it actually, at the beginning of this video, it opens, they both open in the same direction. And so today, now I decided to go ahead and do it this way. But you can do it however you want. Some windows actually open up as well. The last piece is your rectangle piece, and we're going to use that for the door. And so we're just going to fold it lengthwise in half. And we're going to go ahead and glue the full 1/2. We're not going to glue it completely closed again. We want to have that open walkway entrance into our schoolhouse. Very inviting us in. All right, so let's just take a look here at our finished product, almost finished. I would like to recommend that you take some time on the inside, on your windows and on your door, to draw pictures draw pictures of who you might see. Or maybe some things that you might learn, and or you can put pictures, draw pictures, or write words, whatever method you'd like to be able to record or write down here what you would be interested in, or who you would like to have at your school with you, continuing to learn about these themes this week. This is the ribbon that came with it. You can poke a hole in the very top. You can use it to hang it in your house, maybe in your kitchen or in your bedroom. And that's how you do the Schoolhouse for Elizabeth Ann Seton for the elementary age groups. Now we're going to move on to the middle school age group. And you will be able to tell your middle school packet by the tag. Day 1, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Middle School. And inside the packet, you will find some popsicle sticks, a picture of St. Elizabeth with some children around her. And of course, she's holding a book there. You're also going to see a little ribbon and your popsicle sticks. I went ahead prior to this video, I went ahead and had glued some of my sticks together because this is what you're going to need to do. And letting those set a little bit before you sit down to build the rest of it together is definitely going to be helpful for you. So you want to take your popsicle sticks and glue 3 sets of 2. So you just want to put a dab of glue along the edge and then put them together. I laid them on the table until they dried. And each of them, we're going to be even at the tops. So you're going to have 3 sets of 2. You'll also need 1 set of 3 that is completely even. You'll have an extra popsicle stick in your bag if you do 3 sets versus 4. You can do 4 if you want to. That's why the extra one's in there. It'll make your steeple on your church building be a little wider. So You can do 3 or 4. The instructions will actually say 4. So then the other 2 pieces, the other 2 popsicle sticks, you will glue them together, but when you glue these guys together, you want to try to leave a little bit of room so where when you put them up together next to each other like this, you're going to see that they're kind of interlock with each other. That's, of course, for your roof line. So we'll probably end up overlapping them like this, which creates a nice little view. And if you want to glue them like that, you're certainly welcome to do that, but that's why these ones are just a little bit different. So once they're glued and they're set, ready to go, the next thing you need to do is go ahead and start by laying out your pieces. Again, we always like to dry fit and then glue. So for this craft, you're going to need Elmer's glue, the liquid glue. So you want to make sure you have a bottle of this available. So your steeple is going to go behind your picture. And again, like on the other craft, you can adjust it to whichever height you would like to use, however tall you'd like it to be. Then you're going to case your frame. So looking at your picture, paying attention to all the details in your photo, you'll see 4 little girls, 3 kind of off here to the side and the back. I'm trying to let one of the girls in the blue dress be visible. Of course, we really want to see the crucifix there. And this little one here on the chair holding a baby doll. If I put my sticks like this, we're going to end up cutting off a lot of the picture, which is okay. But when we dry fit and we try to put the roof on, we see that we have a nice little bare area up there. So what I like to do, as I'm dry fitting this, is to pull this down a little bit. Oh, but oh no, look at that. We are covering up the crucifix. And we certainly want to have that in our picture. So I'm going to just keep playing with this, moving it around, adjusting it to where I can get everything in the picture that I'd like to see. We may not be able to get all of it. But this is where I would love to see your finished product on what you were able to do with your frame. So I think I like that right about there. So we're going to take and mark off the part that we're going to trim. So we will trim a little of the picture out. And again, just hold it in place, very similar to the last one. And then of course we're going to trim here at the bottom as well. So, all right, once you get those pieces marked, just pull off your pieces and get your scissors and trim those off. We're going to put this back together. Oops. You want to put your sides on first. You'll notice I took those back off. It's because of how the pictures lay out, the sticks lay out to be able to hold the frame, or excuse me, hold the picture within your frame. Alright, so I think I like that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dabs of glue. And now this one, we're going to have to let it sit to harden, to glue, stick. Now, part of the instructions, you're gonna notice that it does say red and black paint is optional. If you have paint at home and you would like to paint your schoolhouse, please do so. I would love to see your crafts when you're finished. Okay. So this glue is going to dry clear. And I'm going to go ahead and let that sit there and dry. Unfortunately, I don't have another one that's finished, but we're going to let it dry for a little bit while I go ahead and work on the bell and the roof for the steeple. So the bell, when you take this little star foam, this is a little foam, you want to cut it out in the shape of a bell. And again, you can draw the picture on or free cut it, whatever works best for you. And I'm just gonna lay it here for now while I start to work on my roof. The next one is this black piece of foam, rectangular shaped piece of foam. I'm just gonna cut it in half. And when I'm gonna cut mine, kind of on a little wedge, kind of like that. It's not as steep, kind of I'm gonna try to get these two pieces to match up to each other to create the steeple. I'm sorry, the roof on the steeple. So that's what it looks like, dry fit. I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead, put some glue on here. And as this piece is drying, it will stay upright because it's foam, so you don't have to balance it off of anything. It will hold itself up right as it dries. And of course you want to glue your bell on. And there you have it. So you want to wait for this to dry completely before you pick it up. Once you when it finishes drying and you do go to pick it up, keep in mind we did not glue the picture in place, so it will inevitably slide out. Go ahead and put some dabs of glue along the outside of the picture and then slide it right back in and lay it back down. And once it's completely dry, you'll be able to pick it up and use your red ribbon to poke a hole through the popsicle sticks, and you can hang it in your room, or once it's dry, you can certainly set it up as well. So this was a great craft, remembering St. Elizabeth Ann Seton and the continuing education that she provided to so many. And we thank her for her dedication. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on day 2, Vacation Bible School. Thank you so much.